As you can see behind me, we have the YouTube Gold Awards. So we're about 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube. It's massive. On TikTok, it's about 4.5 million, and then it's about 1 million on Instagram. And that video got 14 million views in just 4 or 5 days. It was insane. We were able to quantify that we got about 2.5 million in revenue just from organic social media. The social media reach is unbelievable. It really is. They get people like, oh my God. And I think we've probably generated right under $500,000 in the last 4 to 5 years off of no ad spend. The content, of course, is unmatchable.
Hello and welcome to the Art of Selling Online Courses. We are here to share winning strategies and secret hacks from top performers in the online course industry. My name is John Ainsworth, and today's guest is Laura Spaulding. Now, Laura is a serial entrepreneur, an investor, a former police officer who has built multiple multi-million-dollar companies from the ground up. She's best known as the founder of Spaulding Decon, one of America's leading crime scene cleaning companies, and she's been featured in The Wall Street Journal, Inc. magazine, Entrepreneur magazine, and other major media outlets as an expert in scaling unconventional businesses. She also created and produced the hit YouTube series Crime Scene Cleaning, which has garnered more than 100 million views. And today, through Crime Scene Cleaning Academy, she helps new business owners to start and scale their own successful crime scene cleaning business. Laura, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you, John. Thanks for having me.
So can you take us through, I kind of covered very briefly, but can you take us through in a little bit more detail, like who are you helping with Crime Scene Cleaning Academy and like what are you helping them to do?
Yeah, so what I noticed is back in 2016, I actually franchised the business and I realized, wow, there's really a lot of people that want to learn this business. It's very high margin and it's recession proof. Two big things, especially after the 2008 foreclosure crisis and the ups and downs of the economy. I knew that's probably what was motivating people. A lot of people can't afford a franchise or don't want to be a part of a franchise. So that's when I kind of decided I'm going to create some courses to teach people how to start their own business and how to do this business. So that's what I did. And I started it about 4 to 5 years ago.
So that's the ones that you started 4 or 5 years ago was a course on how to do it, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, cool. How much does that cost? How much do people pay for that?
So what I did is I segregated it because I figured not everybody's going to want the full gamut of services. So I have boarding cleanup, I have crime scene cleanup, I have a drug lab cleanup, then I have meth testing. So I separated everything so you didn't have to take the full thing. But if you want to take the full thing, it's about $4,500.
Okay, gotcha. And then people can just buy individual courses within that for like whatever, maybe $1,000 each or something like that?
Yeah, right under that.
Okay, perfect. And then how long ago did you start also adding coaching in as well?
So that's only been 3 months that I've started adding group coaching and then private one-on-one coaching.
Gotcha. And how's that going so far? Are you enjoying that? Does it feel like a good product market fit?
That is a better fit for me than the franchising side was for sure. It's a shorter term. It's a 6-month term of the coaching program. And I get to help people launch correctly. And then I get to see them start to scale. So this is like a perfect fit for me.
Wow. So it sounded like the franchise was really successful, but this is even better for you. This is a better fit for you.
I didn't enjoy the franchising at all. I felt like it was a lot of adult babysitting, and that's just not where I want to be at all. And I'm chasing people for royalties. This one coaching, they don't pay me any royalties. They pay me up front. It is a high ticket because there's a higher ROI on it. So, you tend to weed out all the tire kickers.
So how much are people paying you for that coaching?
It's $45,000.
Okay. And is that like over the course of a year or how does that kind of work?
No, it's a 6-month program.
6 months. Okay. Gotcha.
Yes.
And where are the leads coming from for these? You've obviously got the YouTube channel that we talked about before. Is that like the main source of it? Because I know you've got other channels, TikTok and what have you as well. Could you kind of talk us through maybe the size of your audience on those other places and then which of them are leading to leads for your coaching or your courses?
Sure. So originally the courses that I launched 4 or 5 years ago, we have done 0 advertising for them. I just kind of did it organically through social media. So that's been kind of set it and forget it type revenue, really. And I think we've probably generated right under $500,000 in the last 4 to 5 years.
Okay.
So off of no ad spend. So I'm okay with that. I'm going to start putting some ad spend behind it. But in terms of the coaching and consulting side of thing, what we're doing is basically meta ads and social media,
Mm-hmm.
organic social media, and then meta ads.
And so with the, if I've understood right, then with the courses, the do-it-yourself courses, it's all that people saw your videos on YouTube or TikTok or wherever else, and then went, do you link in the description through to the website where they're for sale, or how does it, what's the next step someone could take?
Yeah, I believe on the social media profiles, each one there's kind of a link tree. So if you want to learn more, you can access the coaching courses or
Gotcha.
the online do-it-yourself courses.
And what's the size of your audience on some of these places? How many views do you get a month on YouTube?
A lot.
No.
I'm pretty fortunate. So as you can see behind me, we have the YouTube Gold Awards. So we're about 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's massive. On TikTok, it's about 4.5 million, and then it's about 1 million on Instagram. So I'm leveraging that organically to be, it's kind of a lazy person's way of marketing because I'm not really, putting too much effort or any money into it. So we're just leveraging what we already have.
And then where does email fit into your marketing system at all?
So I just started doing that with the private consulting coaching. And we use a software called Go High Level to do all of our nurture campaigns and texting and, that type of thing. So it's actually currently being built out. I had a previous developer who did a terrible job, so I'm really having to start from scratch. So be careful who you hire. I'm on my 3rd developer right now. So hopefully we'll get it right this time.
Gotcha. And so has that you haven't used that at all for the do-it-yourself courses? That's not been a part of your marketing for that? Okay.
No.
So in my experience in do-it-yourself courses, businesses that have got a big social media following, about 80% of the potential revenue is in email.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like, if you can go, it's harder. It's not impossible. Obviously, you've proven that yourself with your 500,000 in sales, right? But it's harder to go straight from YouTube link to buying the course than it is to go YouTube to a lead magnet and email subscriber, nurture them a bit there, and then make the sale through email. So we've typically seen when people have started doing that, because a lot of the people that I talk to are basically using the same kind of approach that you're talking about. They're like, everything is direct from YouTube. They're great at content creation, as you clearly are as well, right?
Right.
They've got great courses that people love, and then some of those people go and buy the courses. And when we help people switch over to go lead magnets, so they build up an email list, then they make promotions every month to their email list of the different courses, typically sales will kind of 2 to 5 times how much you can make from it. Now, I don't know, you've obviously got the coaching. It sounds like that's your main focus at the moment.
It is.
But I just want you to know that's sitting there waiting for you, because you've done all this hard work, right? Building up this massive audience and these great courses. And this is the bit in between that kind of helps make more money. Can you talk me through, what are you doing at the moment to get people onto your email list? Is that a focus, or is that kind of like in the link tree, or where is that?
So it's right now we're getting it from the meta ads. So the meta ads go to a landing page. The landing page is a sign up form for a webinar. And then if they don't show up in the webinar, they're in a different funnel, of course. If they do show up on the webinar, then they're in a funnel to buy.
Gotcha. How's that working, the webinar? I love webinar funnels. They're one of my favorite.
Well, it's the developer that I had hired recently didn't do it properly. So ironically, all of the students that I have right now, not a single one came from the webinar. It all came organically through social media. So once it gets working correctly, I'm hoping that it'll work better.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you know how it's working in terms of like what percentage of people are actually registering, and then what percentage are attending the webinar and that kind of thing?
Slightly. So one thing that I've noticed that I've been told by my ads person is that he can't believe how cheap I'm getting all these people. So we're having an average of 190 people sign up for a webinar per week. And that's only costing me $350.
Oh, That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah. Do you know
It's
if they're the right
fantastic.
kind of people?
No, well, that's what we're still trying to figure out. So out of the
Okay.
190, only about 35 are showing up for the webinar.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. So now I'm trying to figure out if that was just for targeting or if that was the crappy funnel
Hmm.
that was set up incorrectly. So that's why we're kind of like starting from scratch again, because it just, there was a disconnect there and I'm still trying to figure out what that is.
So one of my favorite ways to start to figure that out is to put let me take a step back. Is it an automated just-in-time webinar where they can watch it straight away, or is it like at a set time once a
It's
week?
live.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. So if you put a survey on the confirmation page after someone has just registered for the webinar, you will find
Hmm.
about 50 to 70% of people will then complete the survey just because it's
Oh,
on the confirmation page. If you did it by email, you might get 3 to 5%. But
what kind of
because it's
survey? Like, what are you asking them?
so to find out if they're the right kind of fit, that's basically what
Ah,
you want to know right now, isn't it? It's like,
yeah.
are you
Yep.
getting the right leads? Because if you're getting the right leads, cool. All we need to do is get a higher percentage attending or something like that.
Right.
So I guess my question would be to you is like, well, what is a good lead for that webinar? Is it that they have to have I mean, obviously they've got to have 45 grand to pay,
Hmm.
right? So
Well, they got
something
to have more
about
than
current
that.
earnings or,
Yeah. So, I mean, we tell them that they need to have at least 150,000 disposable to them because you're starting a business. You're getting a vehicle, you're buying equipment, chemicals, PPE, all
yeah.
that type of stuff. So it's not just paying for me. If I'm going to set you up for success, I need you to be able to have the equipment and chemicals needed for the job.
So one of your questions might be something like that. One might be like, how serious are you about starting a new business? Is it
Right.
like just interested all the way through to I am looking for what opportunity to choose,
Right.
And another one might be how much money have you got to invest in getting a business like this
Yes.
started? Because businesses involve upfront capital. How much have you got available to invest, and then
Hmm.
and it's not going to get you. People lie in surveys a little
Yeah.
bit, especially around
Right.
money. That makes it a bit uncomfortable. But if you have it as multiple choice, people are more truthful generally
Right.
with that,
Okay.
and it will give you an idea of how
Yeah.
many of them are exactly the right fit. The other thing, and this is a little bit more labor intensive, is it tells you which of those leads are the really good ones. And so
Oh,
what you could do is you can then do personalized follow-up with the really
yes.
good ones. When you go, you know
And that's
what?
what I have not done successfully. That's been my fault that I didn't know that we need actually a human intervention to follow up with that. We relied strictly on the automation of the funnel, and that was
Yeah.
a mistake in hindsight.
Yeah, and it can work, but it's harder to get it working perfectly straight away in an automated
Yes.
way. And
Right.
it's easier to you can screw a few things up if
Hmm.
you're doing it manually and there's like, you can go back and forth a little bit with people. And
Right.
then you get more of a sense of like, oh, my
Yeah.
audience needs to hear this. They have to
Uh-huh.
see me talk about that. They have to have this question asked them, whatever. And then you can automate some of that stuff later,
Hmm.
or you can hire someone to run it, or you can go, well, I'm going to spend an hour a day doing that, whatever, kind of choose your poison. Um, but it would give you an idea for definite of, are you getting the right kind of leads from your ads guy? And
Exactly.
what ads guys
One thing
can,
that surprised me greatly is you can't get granular on meta on who you want to target. It's very broad. You can't
yeah,
even target people by income.
no. And you used to be able to. And what
Exactly.
happened is they changed the algorithm over the years to be more like, trust us, we've got
Yeah.
this. And
Uh-huh.
that's true to an extent, but you then have to know how to tweak it to tell it these are the right people, these are the wrong ones. So one of the
Hmm.
things that if you have enough people per week signing up who are a good fit, it might be that your ads guy could change his success criteria with
Hmm.
Facebook to be, we had these ones who signed up and got to this page after the
Hmm.
survey, as in you have two pages after the survey, one for those who are a
Hmm.
great fit, one's for those who are not such a great fit. And it might be that the people who you send through to the page who are a great fit, that could be feedback for Facebook, because you could do that with e-commerce, right? You don't just pay for people coming through to a page. You can say, these ones bought, send me more like that.
Right. Okay.
And so obviously you need to check with your ads guy. I don't run ads, but I work with people who do. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
some of my stuff you'd have to double check with him that that the current system in Facebook or Meta allows you to do this. But I think that's possible. So then it would send you more of the correct people, maybe a higher cost per lead, but more of the
That
right
would be great. Because I feel like my friends are paying 2,000 to $2,500 for the same amount of leads that I'm getting for $350. So I feel
Yeah.
very fortunate there. So I can really play with things to try to tweak it. And I
Yeah.
can, kind of afford to do that. But I'm getting a lot of people that are just not financially qualified.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
So I'm able to send them to the do-it-yourself courses at that point.
Hmm. Yeah. That's fantastic.
So I guess you would consider that a downsell. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. And then let's go back to the I think you've got a potential with all of your social media followings to grow your list, your email list way faster and then promote either the coaching or the courses or both to that, and that it would completely change the business.
So, and that's one thing that I still don't know how to crack because I can't go to my 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube and say, give me your email. So I'm still trying to figure that out. How do you get their contact information to retarget them?
Yeah. So there's three main parts to it, and then there's some nuance. So I'm going to talk you through it. So we do this with a
Okay.
lot of people. One place. So what you do is you promote lead magnets.
Okay.
You come up with something valuable to your audience that solves a small problem for them for free. Might be something from in your course. It might be something, an extra thing that you create. It might be your webinar. It could be a case study. Which, like, there's lots of options of what can work. But you choose something that is going to be great, and you might have multiple ones for in different videos. That's relevant. Sorry, to what the topic is in that video. Then you promote that in three places. One is it in new videos that you do. You promote it within the video itself. So you do like a little ad for your own lead magnet. So you'd
Okay.
mostly would do this after. Let's say you've got 6 points. If you're doing a listicle type video, then after point one, you would say, and if you want more information about this, just grab our guide. It's available. The link in the description below. And so that doesn't have to be very long, but the people who are the most interested, somewhere between 1% to 4% of people, if you do this right, will then sign up for that lead magnet.
Okay.
So then you put that link in the description and you
Okay.
put it at the very, very top of the description. So in
Okay.
YouTube descriptions that there's that read more or
Yeah.
just click more or
Yep.
something like that. You want it to appear before that.
Right.
And
Before
that
the
makes a
fold.
substantial difference to the number of people who will get that. Because there's a lot of people who, even though it sounds like such a tiny thing, they won't click more and then read through all the links. It needs to be the top one that they see. Then the next place you can put it is a pinned comment. So now
Okay.
it's in three places. It's in the video, it's in the description, and it's in the pinned comment. Now you can't go back to your old videos and put in that ad promoting the lead magnet, but you can go back to all of your previous videos and update the description and the pinned comment.
Right. Okay.
Include a link to whatever you suspect your best lead magnet might be. And you can change that later if you go, oh, I found this one's converting way better to leads,
Mhm.
or it converts way better. Let's say the webinar is fantastic and it works great. Then this webinar converts better to sales. You can promote that. A webinar is going to get you less leads because it is a bigger ask of people.
Yeah.
Like if you're saying to people, I want you to come and spend an hour watching this other training versus
Mhm.
download this guide that you can look at whenever you like, then it's like, oh, that's a bigger requirement. You'll get a lower number of people who will sign up, but it will convert better to
Mhm.
sales than most lead magnets. So you kind of
Okay.
need to, there's a lot of bits to look at, but the basic concept is the same, some kind of lead
Okay.
magnet. So if we take, we had a client in the architecture space who running a business called 30 by 40, and he wasn't doing this at all, hadn't built up email list at all, but he had over 1 million subscribers on YouTube, had fantastically high quality videos, had done an amazing job with building up his audience. And he was doing kind of lowish 5 figures per month, something like that. And so we switched him over to this, built up his email list to, I forget the exact number. I think when we first started doing email promotions, it would have been about 60 or 70,000, something like that. Started running email promotions and had him hit his first ever 6-figure month in like month 2 or 3, something like that. So it's like that's the kind of difference that's possible when you switched from, just drive-by sales to
Right.
direct by email. But yeah, that's the basics of it. But I'll send you through.
Okay.
I've probably got some podcast episodes or some YouTube videos where I've shown like in
Yeah.
detail screenshots, everything like that,
Oh,
exactly what
that's
you're going to
awesome.
click on. Yeah.
I'd appreciate that, John.
Yeah, no problem at all. Let me make a note for myself. And I'm going to see actually if I can find those right now, then I'll be able to tell everyone who's listening where to go find those as well. So let me have a little look. If I go to our YouTube, which is datadrivenmarketing.co/YouTube, we'll take you there. I'm going to just search for maybe opt-in. Okay, so I've done a podcast episode called How to Increase Your Opt-in Rates in Just 4 Steps. And that is, if you just want to listen to it on the podcast, that's there, or it's on YouTube. And I did a full
What's the number on that
episode number? Let me have a look. I at one point took out, we used to have all episode numbers written into every single one, and we took them out to try, because we thought, oh, maybe it's like distracting from these engaging titles we've come up with. And it turns out it's really annoying because I can't say episode numbers as easily. Right. So episode 100, how to 2x your opt-ins, covers this. And then here we go. And then episode 10, I go through it with Josip as well. But I'll send you over the links to each of those afterwards.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay. So let me recap a little bit because we've gone on a couple of tangents. We've talked through how do you grow your email list. What size is your email list at the moment?
Oh gosh, it's probably in the 5,000 range.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have you run any promotions to that email list after the webinar, like kind of to follow up with people?
So I did if you come to the webinar and stay for the webinar, I send out a free top 10 mistakes to avoid when starting your own crime scene cleaning company. So in terms of that, that's about it. I have given 10% off of online courses too in the past.
Gotcha. But
Do you have any other suggestions?
I've got lots, yes.
Good.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Okay, so what we've found with email is that the ideal rate to email promotions to your email list is once a month. Okay. So if you've got enough offers, which you do because you've got multiple do-it-yourself courses plus your coaching, then you can have a discount and a promotion on one of those each month. And we've tried doing it every 2 weeks. There's benefits to that. We'll still sometimes do that with some clients where we'll do a full promotion plus a flash sale maybe. But we tried doing like 2 full promotions a month and it would burn out the list. We've tried doing it every 2 months and you make less money from doing it every 2 months or every 6 weeks. 1 month is the kind of sweet spot. And so what we find is the ideal is to do a week of warm up where it's just content emails about whatever that topic is. So let's say in your case, you've got the course about meth testing, for example, right? So you might do a week of content. We have a structure called Pain Agitation Solution that is about that topic, and is useful and is helpful and doesn't promote anything, has no mention of a course, doesn't talk about that, but it talks about the topic. And so it gets people excited about that topic. So they're kind of primed and ready to hear about a promotion. So the Pain Agitation Solution framework is that, first of all, you talk about a pain point that your audience has that your course solves. We're not mentioning the course at the moment, but we're just talking about that problem. So maybe one of the problems that it solves for your audience is being recession proof, or maybe one of them is this is something that, well, you tell me what's any of the problems that the meth testing course helps them with.
Yeah, the meth testing. So I created a course specifically for home inspectors to test for meth. So home inspectors typically make like $350. Well, they can double their sales if they also test for meth while they're at the house.
Got it. Okay. So that would be only appropriate to a subset of your audience?
That's right? Just for and the other one would be restoration companies that want to start learning how to test for meth.
Okay. Gotcha. So what's one in there that's a broader one? Maybe the crime scene cleaning?
Crime scene.
Got it.
Yeah.
So let's take that then. What's a benefit or what's a pain point that your audience has that course solves for them?
So they can work it as a side hustle. They don't need to quit their jobs and go all in, or they can start a business that's fully doing this with high margin, recession proof, they can 10x their wealth.
Okay, so you might, let's say, just for sake of argument, then we chose that the pain point we're going to focus on is being able to have a reliable side hustle. So then the pain email, you would talk about the problem that people have with starting a side hustle. And you would bring that pain point to life. You'll have lots of information probably from people that you've worked with, franchise owners, your coaching clients, whatever, if they've tried to do that before, about why it was so difficult, what went wrong with it, how come they tried, but they never managed to get anything set up, and they didn't know exactly what to do, and there's just too much stuff to learn, whatever it is, right? So then you add the next email, you're going to agitate that by bringing to life all the issues that problem causes in their life that they can't see because they're too close to their own situation. So it might be that means they then can't go on the holidays they want to go on to, or pay for their kids' college, or have their own kind of schedule, or whatever it is, do their hobbies, what have you. And you start to bring that to life as a story. And I've got some examples of each of these I can kind of send you. And then the solution is you then explain, well, that is solvable if you run a kind of business like crime scene cleaning company. And you give them some tips, but just short ones, just to kind of explain this is how you would get started in this kind of business. Right. And the end of that solution email, you say, if you want more information about this, next week we're going to have a discount. We're going to have a promotion, a sale on the course that's going to teach you everything you need to know about that.
Right.
So now some percentage of people who've been reading those will be like, oh, right. And they're all excited about getting the emails the next week.
Right.
So then you have the promotion week. So you have a discount. Typically, we'll do about 30% off sticker price during that week. So it gives people real urgency to take action right now. And then the emails within that week. So it's 6 emails over the course of 5 days. Sometimes we'll do even 8 and kind of go into the weekend as well. So I'll talk you through like all the emails that can be included in there. So the first one is a gain email, and the gain email is about all the benefits that they're going to get from implementing everything from in this course. Okay. So you're going to talk about how great all the benefits they get when their life is better, how much more money they can make, everything that's fantastic about the success stories that people have had once they've implemented all of this. And then within that, you also are going to give details of, okay, well, this is what's in the course. This is the bonuses. This is the price. This is the regular price. This is all of the value of the bonuses. This is all the stuff that you're getting included for free, and it's a great discount, and you're getting 30% off this week, all of that. Then you do the logic email. And the logic email is more about facts, studies, statistics that show why this is particularly a good idea. Historical data has shown that these kind of businesses are recession-proof because 68% of the funding comes from this place, and therefore it doesn't matter, like whatever it is that shows logically that this is a good idea. And the reason you're doing that is because some people are more logical-minded and they need more of the facts and the figures and the statistics to kind of logically make sense of it. But then, of course, some percentage of the audience are more emotional-driven. And so the next email is the fear email. And it doesn't have to be fear, but that kind of brings this to life a little bit. It's about the emotional side of it. What is it that they're afraid of that they won't be able to achieve? Why do they think they won't be able to do it? What's some of the emotions that your audience goes through that stop them from taking action and getting one of these kind of businesses started? Then you've got future casting. And this email is super powerful. What we always used to find is when we do a promotion, the beginning of an email promotion, there would be a big spike. And the end of the email promotion, there'd be a big spike in sales when the discount was about to go away. But in the middle, it would kind of slump a little bit. When we added future casting in, that brought out another spike in the middle of it as well. And the idea with this email is a lot of people struggle to see themselves in that future state. They understand theoretically, oh, these are the benefits, you can make much more money, etc. But how is my life actually going to be different is too big of a jump for people to think through and to really believe. And people don't know if they'll take all of the action that they're supposed to be able to take. They don't know if they trust themselves completely to follow through on everything. So what you do in this one is you talk through what will their life be like in a day, a week, a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, if they get this course and they implement to a reasonable level. They're not your star student, but they do it. They do whatever amount of time it is, 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, 20 hours a week, whatever it is they need, in your opinion, to kind of go through and do that. And that helps people to go like, oh, I can kind of see how this could work. Like there's some great ads for some piano course that I've seen where it's showing, I think, somebody learning. It was the theme song, the main song from Pirates of the Caribbean, and it was showing after a week, someone is playing it like one note at a time, but you can kind of tell it's the right thing. And after 2 weeks, okay, now it's sounding a little better. And after a month, they're playing all the chords, and then after 6 months, they're adding in the bass with the other hand, and it's just like it's much. So you can kind of go, I could see how I could do that. That feels believable. The next email is then frequently asked questions. And so this is a very long email, often a couple of thousand words, and very few people will read all of it. But what you're going to do is you answer all of the questions someone might have, and then they'll find their own question that they're interested in getting answered, and they'll scroll through and find that. And so that's really important for those people who are more like, right, I just need to know this exactly. How is this going to work? Not the ones who are like, a quick start, let's go. The ones who are more like, right, I need to understand this and more analytical, kind of think it through. So then the last 3 emails are very much shorter, and they're about urgency. And this is just saying this discount that we've talked about is going away in like 24 hours, and then one saying 3 hours, and then one saying like an hour, or it's 6 hours and 1 hour, something like that. And so you remind them of the benefits and what's included and the bonuses and the guarantee and all that kind of stuff. But the focus of those ones is about urgency. And so that is the full promotion. There's a lot to it. It takes a lot of kind of building it all out.
This is fantastic.
What we'll find is somewhere between 0.3% and about 2% of your email list will buy in any given promotion, depending on how warm the email list is, how much you've warmed them up. If they've come from your YouTube content, they'll be warmer than if they've come from that, right?
Sure.
How good of product market fit there is between the course and your audience, how good your discount is, lots and lots of things. But that's the kind of percentage you'll tend to get. Now, at 5,000 people, you'll get some decent number of sales from that. If you start doing it though, and start getting the hang of making those sales to people, and at the same time put the email lead magnets in and start to grow your email list, then it starts to compound. Then you're making a higher percentage of sales to a bigger email list, and then the whole thing starts to really take off. So I think you're sitting on, from everything that you've told me so far, without having dug into your business, I think you're sitting on quite a big amount of potential for growing the revenue from both the courses and the coaching to your existing social media audience.
Awesome.
Which is nice.
That's amazing. Yeah. It's just a bit like you said, though, it's if you don't know how to leverage it, it's pointless. And you just pointed out a bunch of things that I didn't even know.
Yeah. Yeah. This is kind of why I started this business, is basically because I could see that there were so many course creators who were amazing at content creation, amazing at creating courses, but just didn't know that this bit was how exactly this bit worked.
Exactly.
So yeah. Okay. Right. So we've covered how you increase your email list size. In fact, I'm going to, just for everyone listening who is interested in the how to write better email campaigns, I'm just going to find a couple of podcast episodes where we've talked about that. So let's have a look. So there's an episode called How I 2x Revenue in 90 Days with These Emails, which doesn't seem to have an episode number, but it's from June 12th, 2025, where Dominic talked us through the email structure that he's helping people with. We've got one called, which is a good one here, $67,500 in 15 days with this boring funnel, from May 29th, 2025, where Josip had broken down an email campaign like this. And then I want to find one that's more just technical in terms of like the exact contents of these emails. Here we go. How to send more emails without sounding too salesy. This was April 4th, 2024, episode 131. So those 3, I think, would be great if you're interested in kind of learning more about like how to improve your email marketing. Okay, so we've talked about, I want to take a little step back and talk about, how did you manage to grow such a big YouTube audience? What have you been doing? I saw some of your videos that have got the most views on them, and I'm like, oh, that's like, could you tell people some of the names of like the kinds of videos or the kind of topics you cover in your most popular
I mean, a lot of it, I would say the content, of course, is unmatchable. So people are very interested in true crime, crime scenes. Obviously true crime is probably one of the highest rated podcasts. So I'm fortunate enough to be in that genre. Secondly, I think if you name your videos appropriately for shock and awe, you get more views.
Hmm.
So, like we had one recently where a lady passed away in a hot tub and no one found her for I think 3 days. So I think we called it a human crock pot or something like that. So it's those type of labels that get people like, "Oh my God." And that video got 14 million views
Oh,
in just 4 or 5 days.
wow.
So it was insane. So I think it's a combination of those two things, the genre and the labeling of the videos.
What kind of percentage, I know you won't know an exact answer on this, but like what kind of percentage of the people who see those very popular viral videos do you think are like target audience for you for then what you're actually selling in your courses?
I've been asked that a lot. And of course, it's hard to quantify. But what I can say is that we've gotten many, many jobs of people that have said, my daughter saw you on YouTube and she recommended you. Or a property manager follows us and she's like, we had a death on the property and I called you.
Right.
So it definitely does work, but it's very difficult to quantify the ROI on it. We also have gotten employees from it. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with the channel. I want to do this. I've sold courses because of it. So, the social media reach is unbelievable. It really is. It's harder to quantify when you sit down. And I think one year I put a lot of resources towards it. I think it was 2020 or 2021, right around there. And we were able to quantify that we got about 2.5 million in revenue just from organic social media.
Wow.
Yeah. I put a lot of resources towards, hey, let's really figure this out. And then what we did is we kind of did special tracking phone numbers on our social media and stuff. So when people would call, we were able to kind of back it up to call rail and then really follow it. Because sometimes people say, oh, social media, but they won't say the channel.
Hmm.
So it was harder to identify the channel. But as a whole, it was about 2.5 million for that particular year just off social media organic.
And did you get then, were you able to break it down by channel or was that like,
No,
no,
we
okay,
weren't.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any sense of like YouTube versus TikTok versus Instagram at all of, which one brings in the most revenue?
If I had to guess, I would say it's YouTube, just
Uh-huh.
because on YouTube we're able to put the longer form videos, and then we were able to put an ad in our own videos for pop-ups for courses and things like that. So we were able to kind of attribute a lot of that, like when they would come to the course, how did you hear about us? They would say YouTube because
Right.
that's where we had the pop-up. So loosely, I definitely can't get down to even the 1,000, to say how much we've generated off each channel.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of our clients, what we're finding generally is that people are making most of the revenue from YouTube. Most
Yeah.
people who are successful course creators, they have a YouTube channel rather than Instagram and or TikTok or whatever else. And those who have multiple channels, really YouTube is especially YouTube long form views is a
Yeah.
much bigger prediction of revenue than TikTok or Instagram. And there's a few reasons. I think one is if people are watching long form videos, obviously you're building a lot more trust with
Hmm.
them. They're building much more, connection with you as a content creator than if someone's watching a reel or a TikTok clip or what have you. And also there's a little bit more intent, like committing and showing they're interested in that topic than just when you're kind of scrolling through and see something short. Because like YouTube
Hmm.
Shorts definitely is much less of a big deal than long form. But I feel like there's something more because I've only seen one course creator who is successfully using TikTok.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
and I've
interesting.
got clients with millions of TikTok followers who are
Interesting.
basically making nothing from it. And it's like that is surprising. I thought, well, okay, well, it's going to be less, but it wasn't going to be that, not that much less. Whereas Instagram, it's considerably less than YouTube per subscriber, per view, whatever that you get. But TikTok is even more less.
So,
It's
well,
even
I've
less.
never been able to crack TikTok. So we have about 4.5 million followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I want you to guess what our monthly revenue is.
From ads,
Just
you mean?
TikTok.
Yeah.
No ads. Just by having people, watch our videos and that type of thing. We're not selling anything on TikTok.
Yeah. I don't know, 10,000.
Zero.
Oh.
We make zero from TikTok. And it's everybody. I think you have to sell a product or sell something on TikTok in order to get that ROI, but it's not like Facebook, where Facebook pays us based on interactions, time watched on video. Like I can't figure out TikTok's algorithm, but we get zero. And that's where we have most of our followers. So I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. If somebody wants to go check out your YouTube or find out more about you, where's a good place for them to go? Where should they go check you out?
So the YouTube, if you have a strong stomach, I want to preface that because I don't want anybody to go, oh my God, I was eating lunch when I went there. So I will preface that you have to have a strong stomach. And if you like that type of stuff, go to Crime Scene Cleaning. We're Crime Scene Cleaning on TikTok, on YouTube, and on Instagram. And then for my particular courses, it's just lauraspaulding.com or crimescenecleaningtraining.com.
Laura Spaulding, that's Spaulding, lauraspaulding.com. Or say the other one again,
crimescenecleaningtraining.com.
crimescenecleaningtraining.com. Got it. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you got it.
Perfect. And if you want to go check out those other podcast episodes that I mentioned, go listen to those. And as always, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Really, really appreciate you. And Laura, thank you so much for coming on. This was absolutely fantastic.
Thank you for having me, John. I learned more than you did, I think.